I basically just asked the question, what's the ruling on it? I got a bunch of feedback. Nobody answered the question, but a lot of y'all chimed in with y'all opinions. Some of y'all thought I was coping. Some of y'all thought I was blaming that on why I lost, which I wasn't. I wasn't blaming that for why we lost. You know what I mean? The other team played great. We did get off to a good start. You know what I mean? My partner and I had them 12-0, just dominating in the beginning. Mind you, we were not the favorites that game. I think we were actually the opposite of the favorites. I think everyone thought we would lose that game very quickly. And just in an instant, we're up 12-0, y'all. I was killing the ball left, right, and center. It just felt like the bottom of the wall. Like me and the bottom of the wall were just like this. But but I feel like we fatigued. We started making a lot of unforced errors, and the other team got they got their confidence back, and they started playing good. So they came back and won. I definitely wasn't blaming the ball for the reason why we lost. And and that's why I made sure to shake hands after the final shot. I feel like when you don't shake hands, that's when you you don't accept it. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely shook hands, or I tried to shake hands. I shook hands with Paz. Kelvin did not shake my hand right away. But he did turn around eventually and shake my hand. He wanted to celebrate. And so for whatever reason, when I went to shake his hand, right after the final shot, he dubbed me. He just dubbed me. And that kind of hurt. I'm not going to lie. That kind of hurt because, you playing you going back and forth and you battling with a player, and, you're doing really well against them, and then they come back and they hit a really crispy final shot, and you want to give them props. You go to give them props, and they're just like, nah, like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, but he did turn around and give me a handshake, which was cool. Shout out to Kelvin, man. He played good. But don't ever not shake my hand again. You know what you did. You almost didn't turn around. I didn't like that. But shout out to them. Shout out to my partner too, man. I think a lot of people were hard on him. Y'all, he's new to tournaments, and he hasn't been playing handball for that long. That being said, we all have improvements to do. You know what I'm saying? We all have improvements to do. But let's address some of these comments that I seen on here and on Facebook, for that matter. A lot of people chimed in. Somebody said here on YouTube, in my opinion, the ref should make a statement on the ball change. Okay, fair. That's what I thought. Again, I don't know if there's a rule about it. Somebody said they fixed the game. He's just BSing. No, the game wasn't fixed. Although I will say the ref kept calling the score backwards. I don't know if he was dyslexic, or I don't know if he was nervous. But he kept calling the score backwards. I was throwing my partner off. I didn't really care. I didn't really care. I was focused on playing ball, but my partner was getting real frustrated with it. And at a point, it actually cost the other team a point because the ref called wrong score. And I guess the official ruling is if the ref calls the score incorrectly, whatever happens in the volley, dead. Doesn't matter. And, so if the other team had gotten that point, they would have beat us even sooner. They might have beat us before the ball was switched even, if they had got that point. But that whole play had to be redone. Somebody said there's no real handball etiquette. There's no real referee etiquette. I'm the one to help it make it completely fair. Let's work on this. I have a booklet on it that's going into fruition. Okay, all right, interesting. I'm open to hear it. Shoot me a message, and I'll definitely check that out. Um, I don't know that there's no ref etiquette, but I will say some refs care a lot more than others, and you can tell by how much they pay attention to how they just conduct themselves. Are they are they paying attention to everything? Are they talking to people? Are they smoking or drinking? Some refs, different refs have varying degrees of focus and attention. And that being said, a lot of refs don't get paid. A lot of refs are volunteers, and reffing could be a very thankless job. That being said, so I don't think reffing is easy. I've definitely struggled to get to where I'm at with reffing. It takes some time. It takes a lot of trial and error, and you really put yourself out there when you ref because everyone's looking at you to be perfect. So shout out to all the refs out there, man. Shout out to all the refs. All right. Gabe said, unfortunately for handball, the ball isn't as retrievable, so we got to be prepared for these variables. As far as a brand new ball, they should inform, but I don't think anyone gained an advantage because the opponent already had the advantage because they were serving. Okay. All right. The ball sucks. If the ball sucks, it sucks for everyone. If it's dark for everyone. If the courts are messed up, it's messed up for everyone. I always say the same thing too. Like if it's dark for everybody. Bad ball is bad for everybody. Courts are messed up is messed up for everyone. My only thing is that, and I think I cut this out of the video, but I had said it on the live stream. It worked better in Kelvin's favor because he was shooting because he's the biggest shooter on in that game at that point. He was the only one really going for those big like shots like that. I guess I was shooting in the beginning, to be fair though, but I kind of toned it down. The other team was serving and they got the ball first, got more touches. Yeah, so that's the thing too. Serving team, definitely they're going to be closer to the wall. They're going to they just have the offensive advantage. So it's like if you play steam ball and you have a big serve, you're a player who has a good serve, and then you switch to a brand new fresh steam ball and it's your serve. Everybody's hitting the same ball, but as the server, you kind of Kelvin, biggest shooter on the floor. Yeah, Kelvin was the biggest shooter on the floor. I'm telling y'all, when I saw that dead ball, I was like, yo, anything this kid shoots, bro. But I got to look at the inverse too. It's a dead ball. Maybe he shoots and hits the floor. In the same token, he pulled it out. I'm not taking anything from him. All right, Justin said he agrees. We're not considering the fact that Kelvin could have shot the same shot with a new ball or not. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, he definitely could have shot that shot, new ball or not. And, for him to have shot that shot with that, with all the pressure, and I don't think he did even I don't know if he realized it was a new ball, but he definitely didn't get a chance to hit the ball or get a feel for it either. The only person who got to, really handle the ball was Paz. He was able to hold it, bounce it a time or two. Pro move, switch sides, because Kelvin loves shooting right corner and yeah, that's a good point. Wow, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Switch sides right at the end right there. That might have been the play, to be honest. Justin also said in other states where they don't have fences, they cycle through new balls throughout the game. The return was a super setup by Mo Mancy 2.0. Bro. Dog. Damn, look at that vein in my forehead. Does that come out every time I laugh? Nah. Mo Mancy 2.0 is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Mo Mancy 2.0 is diabolical. And yeah, that's not the first person I heard say that he looks like Mo Mancy. Right as soon as it's noticed the ball is new. Yeah, yeah. Timbo said was good. Was good, Timbo. Was good, bro D. Dragon in the house. Shout out to the Dragon. All right, Nicholas said switching the ball mid-game is diabolical, especially if it was intentional. Sucks that happened. You know, I don't know. Honestly, I would have to ask the ref to see if the ball couldn't be found. Again, I was so in the zone, y'all. I didn't realize that that ball wasn't getting retrieved. Again, Kelvin didn't like roof it. He literally kind of just lobbed it right over to the other side. I didn't think anything of it. I just thought they were stalling by like arguing a block call because they were arguing for blocks. I didn't know we couldn't find the ball if we were looking for the ball. I still don't know what happened. Ant said both teams should have a chance to hit the ball a couple times when bringing in a new ball. Every ref should know that. Okay, so if that's the rule, then yeah, I agree. I mean, at least if not hit it on the wall, because I feel like hitting it on the wall could be a little excessive, but at least like pass it around. You know what I'm saying? As if like if the ball was wet, right? You would pass it around, make sure it's dry, type of deal. Timbo said you played good against Kelvin. I watched that game. Nice shooting. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely shot a lot more than I usually do. And again, I'm at a point where I've spent a lot of time working on being consistent, you know, and just having good hands. And, you know, so now I'm at a stage I feel like I've gotten that to a good enough level that I can now start focusing on hitting the ball in more aggressive ways. Pimba said, now that it's getting warmer, I'm going to hit up Victory one day and get some games ready. Y'all, we would love to have you, my boy. We would love to have you. And we could do 3-wall. I hear you used to run the 3-wall, so we could definitely get some 3-wall in too. Chancellor said both teams should be offered a chance to use the ball. I agree. Maybe a hit or two. You know, nothing excessive. I know some people take that and they'll like hit the ball like 5, 6, 7 times. Like, I'm not saying that. I would have literally liked to just be past the ball and just get to like check it, like bounce it a couple times, you know, get a feel for the bounce. Paulie said, LMAO, the ball was changed for everyone. No one hit the ball at all. No advantage to anyone. Mo 2.0 hit a setup and got crushed. Bro, Mo 2.0 is sending me right now. Jay said, good eye. You can't change the ball on second serve. Maybe they lost the ball but didn't tell you. That's why the hold up. Yeah. That's what had to have happened. But I'm just like, how did the ball get lost? How did the ball get lost? I don't know. It feel like it happened so fast. And again, I'm just like kind of zoned in on just playing the game. I'm not worried about the BS because, you know, everyone else is worried about calls and about X and about Z, you know, about X, about Y, about Z. I'm just like, yo, I need to finish this handball game. Like, I don't care about calls. Take it. Like, take the call. I don't care about this, that, like, what that. Like, I don't care about none of that. Whatever the ref says is what the ref says. Like, I'm here to play ball. And we were so close to the end, too. I felt like I needed to just, you know, woosah. Also, the ball can't skip on point game off the serve. Nah, it didn't skip on the serve. It skipped when he killed it. There might have been some dust on the floor. He said, according to you, the ref did whisper it, but you didn't hear it. I mean, that's what the ref told me. The ref said that he said it, but I didn't hear it, and I was right behind, you know, I was right in front of him. He said it. I didn't hear nothing. Jay said, personally, even if the ball hits a crack, he doesn't want to win like that. I won the other day off of a crack. Dude turns to and says they changed the rules. Didn't get that memo. Nah, yeah, you could definitely win off the crack. That's like, if you're like in the park and if you're playing like a gentleman's game, then you could take two on the crack or whatever. But in a tournament, like you can't even catch a ball that's clearly way out. Like, you know what I mean? You rules are a little different. Franklin said, "Bro, you're really blaming a ball. You a real duck." Franklin. Franklin. You became an A player and won how many tournaments after that? Now I'm on your head. All right. Again, I'm not blaming the ball. All right. I'm just asking a question. Literally, I got on and I asked, I said, I need y'all help. I said, what's the rule? Okay. That's it. What's the rule? Is there a rule? If so, what is it? Angel said, bruh, y'all had two big leads and didn't close out. Blaming the ball. Bro, I'm not blaming the ball. Stop saying I'm blaming the ball. This is why you can't talk to certain people. Like, certain people just don't do well with questions. He said, blaming the ball for being too new is the funny excuse I've ever heard. Ain't no way in that moment you noticed Andres bounced the ball and saw the Penn logo on it and thought to yourself, the fix is in. You don't need our help with this. You need your partner to not crack with a lead. Hey, bruh. I'm telling you, bruh. I'm telling you. When he bounced that ball, I might have noticed it in his hand, too. I might have noticed it. I'm like, because brand new pen balls, they're just mad bright. When he bounced it, I'm like, oh, that's a different ball. That's a different ball. We might be in trouble. That's why I told you. I'm just like, yo, I need to get mad close to the wall right now. Because I know Kelvin's going to shoot. Hey, baby. Hey, I'm live streaming right now. You needed me? Huh? I said I'm live streaming right now. You need me for something? No, I said I was going to call you, so I called you. Okay, let me call you back in a few, all right? All right. You want to say something to the stream? Can they hear me? Yeah, they can hear you. No, why? Say hi or something. Hi, stream. All right, I'll call. Oh, I'm yapping about handball. We just chopping it up. Go handball. What'd you say? Go handball. Hey, okay, appreciate that. I'll call you later. Bye. All right, bye. It's my shawty, y'all. All right. By the way, y'all. He said Franklin, Amir versus Franklin call out singles. Amir got a new doubles partner. Nah, my girl doesn't play. And I would play Franklin singles. Actually, I played Franklin once in a tournament. He's actually a great player. I just had to, get on him real quick. Herman says, so what would have happened if the ball had popped? Wouldn't you want a new ball or want a used ball? I would just want a pen ball. If the ball popped, I would just want a pen ball. And I would want to, if the ball popped, I would, obviously know I'm getting a new ball, right? I'd be aware also that I'm getting a new ball. Herman said, besides, nobody looks like they were swinging at the ball to warm the new ball. It's just unfortunate that the new ball entered happens on point game. Could have been you serving. Would you have stopped to think the same way? Yeah, great point. Yeah, no, it didn't look like anybody did hit the new ball. But I would say the person serving definitely knew it was a new ball sooner than I did, I feel like. Um, and if I was serving, I definitely would have thought about shooting it. Yeah, for sure. I definitely would have thought about hitting the ball differently. I would have tried to shoot low because I know it's gonna. I don't know. That's just stuff that I think about. It's especially I play a lot of steam ball, right? So when you play steam ball, when the ball comes fresh out the pot, it's very hot, it's very bouncy, it's very fast. But 4, 5, 6, 7 volleys in, it starts to die out. And so at that point, if you're a steam ball player, and you become aware of how the ball bounces depending on how warm, depending on the temperature of the ball. And so as the ball dies out, you start hitting more killers, you start shooting low, you start tapping it a little more because it's not gonna have any life to it. You can get, I'm liable to get maybe one free dead ball point. You know what I'm saying? Before I switch it, I'm liable to just hit one. But a lot of times I'll switch the ball. But if my opponents are not looking like they want to switch, I'll try to capitalize on just hitting the ball lower. Jeremy said Mo 2.0 is insane. Yeah, bro. I don't know why they doing my boy Mo like that. Crazy. That's funny. I didn't see the likeness till now. Hector said no, hold it. Yeah, they were arguing over that hold it. Jeff said, in all honesty, it was a good game. You guys had the whole game. I think you just let the pressure get to you. Yeah, I definitely did feel some pressure, Jeff. I definitely I had a lot. Yeah, I did feel a lot of pressure. It was a lot of crowd noise. I gotta say I was a little nervous because I never played that team before, so I didn't really know what I was up against. And so that was definitely kind of like on my mind, like, what are these guys gonna pull out right here? I played Kelvin, I'm 2 for 3 on Kelvin in tournaments. I beat him in an AB and I beat him in a B doubles. So, I know he's good. I know what he could do. And I was thinking he probably had like a little vendetta against me. When you beat somebody a couple of times and they got, they're thinking about it. The next time they see you, they're going to apply pressure. And, there was a point in the game where I wanted to take a timeout, but something in me, I was like, this little voice in my head was like, I was like, damn, I should really take a timeout. And the voice in my head was like, soft. I was like, I'm like, who is that? I'm like, nah, say less, staying in. And that was just dumb. That was me just playing harder and not smarter. You know what I mean? I didn't end up playing harder because I was a little tired. I realized it I'm gonna tell you when I realized I was tired. I feel like you gotta be very aware. And I think a lot of C players and B players, they're not fully in tune with their body, and they don't know when they're tired. They don't know when it's a good time to break. And I really admire, top players who can know when it's time to take a break and just take a breath. Call that timeout or call that wipe. I'm a player who I come from, and I'm not a super old school player, but I started off playing with some older guys who would never call hold it, never call timeout, and never take wipes. They were just like these macho dudes who would just stay in the game. And it's like, they be on their deathbed talk about some like, nah, we don't call timeout. It's just like, you sure? You want to take a sip of water? Like something? And yeah, it's really a skill to just be in tune with your body and know when to break. Let's just take 60 or whatever. Take 1 minute, 2 minutes, get a sip of water, whatever. Wipe. Speaking of wiping, these are the new Project Handball towels. They come in 3 colors: gray, pink, and navy blue. Make sure y'all pick one up. And you know, come back refreshed. Come back with new energy, and or break your opponent's momentum. You know, there's a couple different ways you could use the timeout. You know, you could use it for yourself personally. You could use it to break your opponent's momentum. And it's very effective. It's very effective. A lot of C players and B players don't really utilize this for whatever reason. You know, they're just not as in tune with that part of the game. But excuse me. But yeah, that's all the comments on that video. I appreciate everybody who chimed in. I guess I gotta keep digging to find to find my answer, if it's really that Bronx tourney. Yeah, that was the Bronx tourney. I guess I gotta keep digging to find out the actual rule. Damn, I should have asked Timbo. He was just here. He probably know the rule. But yeah, again, all in all, it was a great tournament for sure. I definitely enjoyed that. Shout out to the hosts. It was a free tournament hosted by Sour Mouse with a huge prize pool. Places 1st through 8th got prizes, which is fire. Places 1st through 8th. I think it was $1,000 for first place. Everybody who attended the tournament got a voucher to I guess Sour Mouse is like a lounge in Chinatown. I think it's like a lounge / arcade. They got like games and stuff. Everybody got like a voucher. Like you were able to go and get a drink. I don't drink personally, but you know, I was thinking about going to get that free drink. I don't drink, but I do like free stuff. Alligator says somebody took the ball. What are you gonna do? Continue without a ball? Nah. I'm not against ball switching. I mean, I never said I didn't want the ball to be switched. I just would have liked to be notified. That's all. Like I'm literally looking to the side. Ref throws the player the ball, and like by the time I look straight as he's like getting ready to serve, that's when I knew it was a new ball. I mean, I didn't even get to touch the ball, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just wondering if there's a rule on it. I'm not making excuses for why we lost. I didn't even touch the ball at point game. I'm just asking a question. Like, I would have liked to be notified. If that's not the rule, then cool. My bad. But I would, I would hope there's a rule that says, like, players got to be notified. Was it switch with a dead ball, different skin? Yeah, I mean, it was just a brand new pen ball. Brand new pen balls, that's the best. That's quote unquote the best you could get. Nah, it's not the best you could get. A pen ball period is the best you could get, but a lot of tournaments they'll just bring a brand new pack. Like it'll all be brand new balls. But brand new pen balls, they're just dead. Like they're just dead. That's all. You gotta play with a dead ball for like a whole day or like a day or two before it's like the perfect bounce that you want from a pen ball. I checked under the broken ball rules. All it said was if the ref deems the ball is broken, a new ball will be introduced and the point will be replayed. Okay. All right, I get that. A new ball introduced. That doesn't necessarily mean everybody gets to like kind of see the new ball. But I will say if a ball is broken, everyone's gonna know. You know what I mean? Like everyone's gonna know right away. But I guess that is the closest like analogy, I guess. Truth is, you can only argue that one player had an advantage based on the way Nietzsche did it. The server got to touch the ball ahead of time and bounce it, but no one got a chance to hit it around before. True, yeah. I agree 1,000%. The only person who got an advantage, could have been Paz, because he got the ball right away. and he got like 1 or 2 bounces. I think he only bounced it once. And then Kelvin shot that shot. That was a crispy shot, man. That was a crispy kill shot. Dog, bro, he was locked and loaded, boy. He was locked and loaded. He knew what it took.